Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning. We will start with Mr. Hutchings and minutes and claims, please.
Good morning. We have minutes from July 29th of 2025. Would ask the commissioners to approve that, please.
Minutes reviewed, and I make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We have a claim docket from July 25 of 2025 through July 31 of 2025 in the amount of $465,727.58. Would ask for the commissioners to approve that, please.
Reviewed, motion to approve.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
And then we have a payroll docket dated July 25th of 2025 through August 1st of 2025 in the amount of $1,027,366.33. Would ask for the commissioners to approve that, please.
Motion to approve.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Thank you, Mr. Hutchings.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Next up, we have Larry Robbins with a grant agreement that he would like to go over, and I believe he's also going to update us on some road closings that we had yesterday because of flooding.
Yep, sure can. So the first thing, this is a Safe Streets for All grant that the county applied for and was awarded last fall. We were basically the first half of this year getting the contract finalized. We had some going back and forth between the feds and everything to get all that finalized. But this is $400,000 in federal money, $100,000 in local money for a $500,000 grant. And this is a Safe Streets for All project that would identify countywide any issues that we have in our road network or anything pedestrian or bike related or anything to that nature as well, and recommend safety improvements and things for the whole county. So pretty important program, pretty important to the community, and something that I'm glad to finally get accomplished here. So Terry has reviewed the contract and he's okay with it.
Okay, Larry, we don't have a contractor yet, right?
No, we don't have a consultant, so once this grant's approved, we get it signed, we send it back, and Federal Highway will probably give us a notice to proceed for procurement, and then we'll go with, we'll probably need to do an RFP and solicit some proposals for who is going to work on this. There are several different firms that do this type of study, this type of work to identify these safety concerns. And the Safe Streets for All program is fairly new, but it's been around long enough that there are several consultants that are out there that are doing this type of work for different communities. The city of Terre Haute is currently working on their grant. I think they're getting ready to wrap theirs up.
So I got a big question. This is new, but what are you thinking time frame?
I'm thinking probably if we can get somebody under contract here the last quarter of the year, we probably, I think it was roughly 6 months is what the city accomplished theirs in. So I'm probably thinking that same time frame to identify that and complete this. Hopefully that would identify, it would be a lot of research, a lot of data collection for them to do, traffic counts, accidents, any issues we have, and then evaluate those to make some recommendations on what that is. And then the goal would be to identify a few projects that we could then apply for an implementation grant as well. So either we could do some of this with local money, if it's minor improvements that we could do to our system to make those safety improvements, or it's something that's more widespread, like an intersection realignment or some timing changes or something like that. So.
Okay. Thank you.
So we would have to do the $100,000 match?
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
And the plan right now is to use that out of edit. I think we have some planning and engineering funds in there that I think we can use for that. The one thing I do need to figure out with the grant is whether this is reimbursable, so we might have we might need to talk to council about maybe a cash flow there, as we pay a consultant to get reimbursed. So, but the bottom line is the county is on the hook for the recipient share, which is $100,000.
Okay. And this would just be county roads, no state highways, and no city, correct?
No state roads or city roads. The only thing that it might overlap a little bit is if we have a particular issue at one of those intersections that would intersect the state highway or a city road or something like that. It might identify some problems we can use to fix this. So the goal of this is safety over the entire county. So if we have an issue at one of those, it would probably, it would include that. I'm not sure. Off the top of my head, I mean, the one I could probably think of is maybe Harlan Road or something like that. Got a couple intersections on Harlan Road that have been safety concerns over the past several years. 63 and Harlan Road is the one that really comes to mind. So this would kind of identify what's going on at those, and do those studies to see what's going on, and see if there's something that we can do to improve that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And then you want me to give an update on the roads real quick?
Yes, please.
So we had that kind of a unique rain event yesterday. It's kind of something I haven't really seen. But we do have some roads still closed this morning. Those are Louisville from 159 to Oregon Church, Harold from 246 to All Street, Rush from Oregon Church to 159, Eastwood from Louisville to Mosman, Stevens just east of 159, Oregon Church from Payne to Sullivan, Payne from Oregon Church to Cutsinger, and Dearborn from Eastwood to Blackhawk. All of those roads are in the south part of the county, south 570. We had that cell kind of spin up yesterday and just stay there for whatever reason. So we had reports of 5.5 to 6 inches of rain down there. So it unfortunately is about the flattest part of the county as well. So there's not a lot of places for that water to go. So it's going to take some time to drain that out. So we have a few of those are washouts that the guys are going to be working on fixing today. So those roads will be back up. The rest of them are high water, and then we will open those roads as the water recedes.
Yeah, we were kind of surprised. It was raining here, and you said that there was flash flood warnings, and we're like, but
Yeah.
we went down there, and it was kind of crazy in that section down there, Pine Meadow to Blackhawk. So thanks for that update.
No problem.
Okay, moving on. Workers' comp contract.
Okay. Renewal?
Yeah, Tammy, this is just a renewal. Okay.
We went over this with our agent last week. Different items, review of the incidents, and targeting some things that we might be able to improve. The rate has, our experience mod has come down over the 3-year average that they use. And so, but our payroll's increased, of course, and so we had an increase in the premiums. So I would make a motion to renew.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next up, we have Greg Lee from Workforce Development with a presentation for us. Good morning, sir.
All right. Thank you for having me. Do I just... Okay, that was easy. Thank you for having me, Commissioner Klinkenbeard and Commissioner Morris. I like to when I get the opportunity, I like to get in front of whoever I can to speak about kind of what the local workforce board does, how we're affiliated and connected with the Work One offices locally and Department of Workforce Development at the state, because most people still refer to us as the unemployment office, even though we have an unemployment staff for like 10 years. I will try and go through this as quickly as I can. I've never been accused of being a really exciting presenter, so I will go through what we've got. So Workforce Development Board, it's made up of a group of community leaders that are appointed by a group So the majority of the board is represented by local business people. So currently our board has 25 members. We have 13 business and industry professionals and then 12 who are from local organizations, nonprofits, education, government. And so in Indiana, we have 12 workforce development boards. We are Region 7 here in Indiana. We have several funding streams. We are completely grant funded. So currently we are working with 11 different grants that we use to help job seekers and local employers to improve the staff that they have or hire skilled staff that they need. What's the role of the Workforce Development Board? So we've got strong partnerships with our regional employers that we work with a lot. They can be small businesses, they can be large businesses. We work with Union Health, we work with locally owned businesses. So it doesn't matter what it is, we want to help you however we can. Just depends what the services they need. We also work with job seekers, and we have plenty of options in our local Work One offices. Here in Region 7, we have 6 counties, so it's Vigo, Vermilion, Park, Clay, Sullivan, and Putnam counties. So we serve those 6 counties and anyone in those. Some of the things that we do, we work with youth. We've got youth money. We have work-based learning, and we know with the new graduation requirements, work-based learning is a big part of those graduation requirements, so that will fit in, right in with any school in the region who's looking to do that. Jobs for America's Graduates, more commonly known as JAG, I'll get into in another slide. We have apprenticeships, youth camps. We just completed a youth entrepreneurship camp with the Indiana Small Business Development Center from ISU this previous week, and they got an intense week of learning about entrepreneurship. They got an AI certification. They received $250 for startup money for their business, and then they presented at the end of the week, and so that was really cool. We also have adult programs. It's very similar to our youth programs, but we have more tailored towards the older audience. Work-based learning, as I mentioned, all 12 of the workforce boards in Indiana are registered apprenticeship intermediaries. If you've been paying attention to state and federal legislation, there's a big push on apprenticeship. So we got $125,000 last year in this region to work with apprenticeships. We used all that, and I asked for another $125,000, and we just got that. And we've got to use that by May, but I don't think we'll have any problem. And then Indiana as a state just got another $6.5 million from a federal grant for more apprenticeships, so we will be working really hard on apprenticeships over the next few years. We've got a very successful one with Union Health for registered nurses. We've had, I think, about 60 registered nurses go through that Union Health RN apprenticeship, and I think it's like a 98% completion rate, so it works. And we can do apprenticeships for any field. It doesn't have to be the trades. It doesn't have to be healthcare. We could do an apprenticeship for your office. So if you have any interest in that, please let me know. Other partnerships, we work with all kinds of organizations in the area. Some of our mandated partners are Voc Rehab, Adult Ed, AARP, and then some of the other ones that aren't mandated. We work a lot with economic development groups in all of the counties that we serve. So when they go on economic development visits with potential businesses, they bring us along so we can give them an idea of what the labor force looks like, what they're looking for, so we can start coming up with a plan. Like NTEC, when they were looking at coming, we were in on those conversations as well, and they told us what they needed. So we've been working with NTEC as they've been working on getting their stuff built, and we've been working with Ivy Tech to kind of come up with a training program for those staff and for other manufacturers in the area as well. Adult Ed, we work with all the adult ed providers in the area. If someone comes to us without a high school diploma, we will strongly refer them to go and get that adult or that high school diploma or GED so they can open up their prospects. The way the workforce system is set up is has a lot of levels. So we've got the Department of Labor who decides what kind of funding we get, and then they funnel that down to the Department of Workforce Development at Indianapolis. and then they allocate that money to the 12 different regions, and then we are there in the Western Indiana Workforce Development Board. So we provide services, as I said, to employers and to job seekers. So under Work One Individual Service, we have service provider staff in our Work One offices. Those are all staffed by Vincennes University's Workforce Development Department. So any staff in the Work Ones are employed by Vincennes University. We also have a few state staff from the Department of Workforce Development in our Terre Haute office. And then for our employer services on the board side, we have 2 business consultants that work with employers on any needs they might have. Our Vigo County office is our comprehensive office. That's our largest office. We have 3 unemployment phones in the Terre Haute office. If you ever have an issue with unemployment, if you call from your cell phone or home, you might be on hold for a couple hours or a few hours. We have our phones in the Terre Haute office. We call them BAT phones. So if you go into our office, pick up one of those phones, it'll go directly to unemployment. And as the computer you're on, they can actually take over that computer you're on and help you navigate and show you where you need to go. So if you ever have an issue with that. Our county offices in Clay Park, Putnam, Sullivan, and Vermillion are a little bit smaller, but still offer pretty much everything that they need. Resource areas, public computers for job search, workshops over anything job related. And then we've also got our business services team who work with employers on any training, anything that they might need. We've got our employer training grant where we help train new or incoming employee or new or current employees. I'll go through these really quick. These are for Region 7, so our 6-county area. We've got 16,000 from Terre Haute / Vigo County who live or who work somewhere, but then we've got 14,000 who live in Vigo County. So we've got about 2,000 that commute. And I've got all these numbers in a packet I can give, or if anyone else wants them, please let me know and I'll get it to you. These are our jobs by industry. Government is obviously a big one with our prisons and our education and the different things that we have there. Manufacturing is also another large industry. Healthcare, of course, with our hospitals and other care industries. Top employers, as you see, most of these are from Vigo County or Terre Haute. There's a few that are in like Putnam County, but you see Union Hospital, Great Dane, which is in Terre Haute and Clay. Unemployment, this is from May 2025 from the Department of Workforce Development. As you see, Indiana has a labor force of about almost 3.5 million. Our Region 7 has about 103,000, and 99,000 of those are employed. Education level by employment and unemployment. As you see, as the higher the education goes, the lower the unemployment. Educational attainment in Region 7, you see we still have quite a few, about 9% that have less than 9th grade or less than a high school diploma. We're working to get that lower. Our regional performance against the state, we exceed where all the state and federal targets are, so we do a very good job with this smaller resources that we get as a smaller region. Again, adult credential rate, we're a little bit lower there, but we're working on that. Measurable skills gain is if they receive a credential, a report card, something that shows they are improving their skills as they go through their training. So we are doing very well on that. This is interesting. This is the regional allocations that we just got in July compared to the rest of the state. So if you see Region 7, we got 4% of the allocation. You look over at Region 1, which is the northwest part of the state, 7 counties up in the northwest, they got 36% of our largest pot of money that we use. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there, but not much we can do about that. The JAG program, Jobs for America's Graduates, great program. It was pretty much completely cut this year in the budget. It was one of the victims of that. So if you see at the top, we used to have 17 programs at the end of the school year last year. with the little money we have left to run JAG, we're going to have hopefully 6 programs to start this school year. And then after this year, that might be the end of it unless we find some money. The employer services I mentioned, I won't go on that. A couple of things we do for employers as employer services, we can post jobs on the state's career website. We can help you get an account set up there. And then work keys testing is a big pre-employment testing thing we do for a lot. The operators send all of their candidates through us, Novellus, a lot of companies use it. So if you apply, they'll send you to take our work keys test. And if you score certain levels, then you will move on to the next step for that application. So employers really like that, so they can kind of weed out those who may not be a good fit. This is a lot here. Employer training grant is the most popular thing we do for employers. They are eligible for up to $50,000 per grant cycle for training for, like I said, incoming or current employees. The only requirements, they must pay a minimum wage of $19 an hour, and then existing employees, if they send them through training, must receive a 5% wage increase, and that's part of the state trying to get wages up all over. That's it. The employee reimbursement, if it is a training that ends in a certification, so they will receive a certification, they can get up to $5,000 per employee. If it's an in-house training that you do on your own, we will pay $1,000 or reimburse $1,000 per employee. So like I said, this is a very popular program, and I'll show you how much we've spent through this grant right here. Region 7, since 2022, we've spent $1.8 million training staff for the employers in this region, and then Vigo County alone was $1.3 million. So it is a great program, and we still have money if anyone would like to get in touch with us. I mentioned our Union Health Registered Nurse Apprenticeship, very successful. We're working on getting these going all over the state. Some things we do in the community, if you remember the Regional Employment and Opportunity Expo we held at the Convention Center in March of this year. That was in partnership with the City of Terre Haute Chamber of Commerce, and Accelerate West Central Indiana. A great success. We ended up having 67 regional employers, so we didn't even go to Indy or anything like that. We stayed local and had 67 employers, and then we had 367 attendees sign in. I'm sure we missed some who didn't sign in, so it was probably more like 400 at least. Legislative Day in February, our board president and myself went up the night before and had dinner with a number of legislators to discuss all of our workforce development issues we're facing, and then the day February 13th, we met at the State House. As you can see in that middle picture, we got a chance to meet Governor Braun. Commissioner Klinkenbeard attended. Thank you for that. And I mentioned our entrepreneurship camp last week. And like I said, a very successful program. On-the-job training is another thing we do for employers, where we can pay half of their wages for 6 months or up to $50,000. So a quick overview of all the things we do. So, any questions?
You do a lot. First, for those that don't know, your location is in the hub, which is the
Yes.
Hallman Building
Yes.
at 9th and Wabash. I've been on the board for 3 years now. Very involved board, a lot of good things going on there. I had one question about this discrepancy in the regions. Why is that? Well, I mean, that's huge.
That's a good question. Indianapolis always gets a lot because they're so big. I'm not sure why. I think that northwest area that got that 36%, they're close to Chicago. They've got a lot of industry up there. As you saw, we get the 4%. We are the smallest region in the state. But we, as I said, we spend all the money we get. We have to ask for more. So we've proven that we can spend and will spend what they give us. So I'm not sure what their formula is for that, but it's obviously not good.
Yeah, maybe it's something we can check with our legislators on. Do you have anything, Mike?
Yeah, well, I want to thank you for the programs and the program up there at the convention center, I thought really went well this year. I was very impressed with that. And, I mean, people came out. And I think your outreach has been much better, improved over the years here. And I remember a story. I was kind of talking to a friend of mine that ran a business here in town one day, and he said, I was talking about, well, the unemployment rate's only such and such, and he goes, well, yes, that's right, Mike, but if you're unemployed, the unemployment rate's 100%. So, thank you.
That's
Get-
good.
Keep, yeah, well, you need a job. So, people need help.
Yes, definitely. All right.
All right, thank you. Welcome
Thanks.
back anytime. Appreciate
Thank
it. Public comment. Anyone from the public have anything they would like to talk about this morning? Or comments from other commissioners or other elected officials? Anybody? Floor is yours. Okay. Have a good week. We will stand in recess.